Aston Villa are about to change their logo next season. So on Sunday it'll be the last time we ever play in this logo. It's the one you can see that starts at 2007, and quite coincidentally it shows you the new one that's coming, but it's gone from all the way from 2007 to now. So that is near enough. So it's near enough been around for 20 years, but it is changing. So I'd say it's been a good servant for 16 years. But let's have a look at everything that happened in this logo, for the ups and downs, before we change it. And the last time we play on Sunday, of course, the last time we play in this logo is going to be our push for the Conference League. Of course it was. Can you imagine the last time we play in this crest, we managed to get Europe? That would be absolutely incredible. But let's take a deeper look into the journey of this Aston Villa logo. So we start off quite early on in 2007, and through the early years Aston Villa was not as good as the 80s and 90s. Obviously didn't win as many trophies, but you know, we were still a decent team. We were still in around Europe at that time, so a really decent start to the new logo. I don't think we're horrific at the start. So it started really well. So it starts in 2007, you know, 2008, 2009, 2010. I think those were decent years in this logo. I don't think we were absolutely horrific at this point. Yeah, so, you know, this was about the last time we got into Europe. So the first time we wore it, we were played in Europe, or around that time, and now to finish off we have a chance to go back into Europe, so that would be incredible if we did that. And then we move on to more of the grim years, so we move on to sort of 2011 to more 2014, and this is where the downfall starts, and this is where our ownership just really went downhill really quickly, and we lost players, and the players we brought in were just shocking. It wasn't great. The early 2010s, towards the middle of it, it was just grim. Those times were grim to be a Villa fan. As you can see, not a friendly face there. But we did have some up times. Aston Villa, here's the stat for you. Aston Villa and this current logo have been to Wembley 5 times. 2010 Carabao Cup final against Man United. 2015 against Arsenal, the FA Cup, 2018-2019 player final, and again the Carabao Cup final against Man City in 2020. So we've had quite a few visits to Wembley, successful, and only one occasion, unfortunately. Sorry to down the mood. Only one occasion we've been successful. But yeah, we've had a few trips to Wembley, and we were decent in this. So if we've achieved it 5 times, that's pretty good. Hopefully we get more success at Wembley under our new logo. But we did visit Wembley a good number of times. So most notably was probably the FA Cup final. With the squad we had, it was absolutely shocking. Nearly got relegated that season as well. But that brings me nicely on to 2016. No. I don't need to talk about 2016 too much, but I believe, yeah, let's not go into 2016 too much because we got relegated that season. We were absolutely diabolical. The 15-16 season obviously got to Wembley FA Cup final, stayed up narrowly by like 1 point or something. Maybe it was goal difference that season. So surprised we managed to stay up. Next season we wouldn't get so lucky. We're absolutely horrendous. Finished bottom of the league, get relegated. Darkest days of that logo. Absolutely shocking. 17 points. It's just not good enough. It's not good enough. And at this point we obviously got relegated to the Championship, where we would spend a few seasons. Yeah, some of the players were just shocking at that point. It was just not a great time to be a Villa fan at this point. And considering we got battered 4-0 by Aston in the FA Cup the following previous season, it wasn't great. So we move on to our first season in the Championship. Not great. We finished about mid-table. That wasn't particularly great, so not a fun memory in this crest. Not one that will live long in the memories, but we did get to see a face you probably wouldn't expect to see in a Villa kit, and that was John Terry. in our second season, especially. We obviously got to the playoffs, got to the final, lost 1-0 to Fulham. But, you know, it was things were starting to look a little bit better. We were still under a lot of pressure, especially financially. Our ownership was shocking. But in the Championship, it looked like we were going to stay there for a while, and that brings me nicely on to this. This photo will probably live long in the memory of Villa fans, and especially ones that haven't seen Villa do extremely well. The ones that, you know, like me, that have only really ever seen us bottle it, and we've never really been great. So this is probably one of the best memories yet. You know, it was that season was unbelievable, and that's something this badge has got something to be proud about. 10-game unbeaten run, got into the playoffs. This time got to the playoff final and was really successful. What a turnaround. Dean Smith, absolute legend, and we were back in the Premier League, and this is where you start to think, right, okay, times are changing. This has to be it now. This has to be the turning point now. We now need to get back to European. We need to be more, you know, we need to get back to being European giants, and this was probably one of the, you know, major stepping points in doing so. Then we got to the Premier League. We were decent. We were decent. Listen, we were absolutely horrendous at times, but I thought Villa were quite good in their first season. Like, we brought in a lot of new players, and it did, you know, we were horrendous at some points, but we did score a lot of goals. I think the problem was we were conceding as many, like double the goals we were scoring. So it, you know, it looked really bad, and I think if we were just better defensively, I feel like we obviously stayed up on the last day of the season. I don't care what happened at Sheffield United. How many times did we get mugged off in that season by VAR ourselves? So I think that's something to be quite proud of, because, you know, we stayed up, we fought till the end, and, you know, we stayed up on the final day of the season. But you think it could be deja vu, that we could go down like we did the first time? Nope. In the second season, a lot of people were predicting us to go down. We didn't do that. We came out absolutely flying. Really good 7-2 against Liverpool. That's something to remember. You know, we battered Arsenal 3-0. We had a decent season. I think we let it go towards the end. We finished 11th, but we had 55 points, which is 11th place for 55 points is unusual. Right now, that would probably get you quite a lot higher. But we had a really good season, and a lot to be proud of there. But then this is where it starts to get interesting. Obviously, the following season, our manager Dean Smith would get sacked after a poor start. Brought Steven Gerrard in. He did this, you know, he didn't do himself any favours. I don't think we should ever have appointed him, but we did. At this point, we're not going to go into the Gerrard era. The only thing he did that was nice is bought Coutinho in. Something to remember, I suppose, for this badge. Other than that, not much. But, you know, when we bought Emery in, and then, you know, the rest, as they say, is history. You know, Emery can now lead us to our first ever, you know, Conference League run. Well, he could take us into the Conference League for the first time in, you know, 13 or so years, which is ridiculous. So we say farewell to this logo after about 16 or so years. I don't know, I'm not very good at maths. It's gonna be sad to see this logo go. It's got sad memories, it's got happy memories, it's got a lot of memories about it, but we move on to a new era, and hopefully this logo brings us a lot more luck. It's very much, I know people saying it looks like the Chelsea one, I don't care. This one is very similar to 1982 one. So we shall see if this one can bring us luck, and I really hope it does. The future looks bright for us.